Hi everybody, Tribal Typhoon here. Welcome to Equestria War. Yes, the Brony mod of Hearts of Iron 4. I am a Brony. In fact, here's my OCs. Tribal Typhoon and Hazel Grove. Here's them together. All artists are created as per the norm. And welcome to Equestria War. I think I already said this shores of Civica. It's high time I get to this style of content. I love playing Hearts of Iron 4. I love playing Equestria at War because it's one of the best mods out there. It's better than Kaiserreich. It's better than Old Man Blues, the Fallout one, and it's also somewhat better than Road to 56. And out of all those total conversion mods, Equestria War, even though it's a mod for My Little Pony, you could be a non-brony and play it thinking, oh, this is gonna be for the memes, and leave going, this shouldn't be good. What is wrong with you? It's kind of like that guy you watch on YouTube or TikTok who makes these crazy ass old recipes, and he finds a gem and goes, "You were not supposed to work." But yet this does. And speaking as a brony who's gotta enjoy it no matter what, this mod is pretty well done, pretty well managed. And hell, if Alex the Rambler, John Parker 117, and hell, I think even Bo can even do this mod once. I know for a fact Remy Down Under did it one point in time, back in his infancy days. But if they all say, oh dear God, this thing is good, what is wrong with me? Then you know it's good. So yeah, I would like to thank all the developers of this mod. Like everybody, please give them a clap in the chat because they worked so hard on this mod. They're so good at this point in time that I even hear that other mod developers are asking them to come help them with their own mods. They're that dedicated. So yes, Shores of Civica, everybody. And just to give you guys a hint, like a very massive hint of just how well done this mod is. This is so set in the fictional world of My Little Pony, and there is 3 continents. It used to be just 1. Now there's 3. And these continents have lots of countries, and bear in mind, if they were just going to do Hearts of Iron 4 My Little Pony War, they would have just gave you a focus tree for the myriad of bad guys, and a focus tree for Equestria, and you'd be done. These mad guys and lasses have literally have made almost all the focus trees for almost all the countries in the first two continents. In fact, here they are. Just to give you guys a scale, I'm going to say what's going to happen. So we currently have. So here we are. Here we go. We currently got Equestria. This is Equus, the continent of Equus. That's the continent's name. And I presume we're going to see the mouse at some point, because I was using that as a pointer. Bear in mind, I am currently. I don't like I'll know in a second. Oh shite. Okay, so the mouse button doesn't show up. Oh boy. So basically, what I was doing here, because FYI, this is embarrassing. I tried to record this with OBS, but sadly OBS just didn't want to work. It managed to capture the game loading screens, but simply stuck on it. So I had to use Betacam for this first episode. what I was doing here, because I was talking to myself, writing a script for this damn thing, but without the mouse, this is gonna be a very long ass episode. Thank you, Bandicam. You failed to capture the mouse. What I was doing is I was saying each country out loud, and I was gonna make it turn into some form of any maniac song. You know, the song about the world and the brood. But alas, without that mouse, I don't know which one I'm going to start at, which one I'm at. Because I'm like an idiot, I didn't click on the actual country. So I might be doing that on the next episode. Oh boy, this is gonna suck. So, what can I say about Equestria War while we wait for the past tribal just singing a song that you'll never hear. It says I had it all set up, but I don't know where we're at, so I can't really sing it or do it in a sing-song voice. We're currently looking at the Griffonia continent, which is where all the Griffins live. And it's pretty damn large. And I wasn't kidding when I said that the developers have almost finished giving every single country you see on the screen right now their own focus tree. I'll repeat that. Their own focus tree. That means going through the lore, finding out what the heck they're gonna do. Hell, even the Dreadling, you see it right on top, which is basically a country of necromancers. They're literally the undead army bumped to slay the entire world. They have their own focus tree. They have their own mechanics. And all that. Oh, and there we go. This is down below. We now see the third continent. Zeprica. The latest and probably the last continent that they're going to add. And most likely it will be because, well, it was always those three continents. Okay. Pietro Caballo. Oh, now I'm clicking. Yes! Good for you, past tribal. You could have done that way in the beginning. Oh well. I'm not gonna sing now though, because it just kind of ruins the whole point. But yes, the developers have gotten most of the Equestria, the main ones at least, that now have a focus tree, and the Griffonia, most of its countries has a focus tree at this point in time. Sadly, Zeprica, which just came out, and you can see there's little things in the below on the table. Getting back on point. Estonia? I think we just found the Estonian version. Anyways, back on point. What was my point? Oh yeah, Zeprica. Zeprica only has roughly around 4 countries that currently has their own focus tree. Mostly because, sadly, it takes a while for the developers to make these focus trees. So, and again, bravo to those developers, because this takes a long time just to do, and they added even more to their plate of stuff that gotta get done. So the four countries where I know for a fact have their own focus trees is Carpathia, Hippogriphia, Sardinia, the Copenhagen Republic, and I think it was the Jarldom of Chittal. Those I remember offhand. But yeah, it's just one of those times where you plan these things out. You go, oh, don't worry, the mouse will show up. Which is gonna suck, because I was also doing a lot of reading. Oh, Realm of Kira, yes. the next Zippercraft country they're doing for focus trees. That'll be my next. That will be my next Equestria War series. Once I'm done with this current one. Let's see what else am I going to talk about here. But yes, this mod is currently well made, well done. They even have their own sprites. Their own sprites. Let me repeat this. Their own sprites. You couldn't even get... Like, you can make a Space Marines outfit and they'll just give you the... Let me put it this way, as I'm trying to find the words here. Your average anime mod will only use the stock vanilla sprites. Now there are a few who don't. I think the Girls of Panzer, I think one mod has the Girl on Panzer models, but I don't remember which one. But these ones, they have zebras, they have changelings, you have deer, you have ponies, and you have griffins that I know for a fact that they currently have in the game right now. They're going to add, I think if I remember quickly, they're trying to look into adding Kirins. They're trying to add in Minotaurs, polar bears, because they're penguins. And I think harpies. And harpies. I think they even got the undead, like skeleton ponies sprites in the game too. But it's been a while since I played Dreadly that I don't know. I don't remember. Oh, and apparently gargoyles. I forgot about that. Oh, please, please make the gargoyle sprites the Goliath and gargoyles. That'll be perfecto. So, past me, which country we're doing again? I only recorded this yesterday, and I'm just pulling stuff out of my butt. Because apparently the entire freaking idea of me parroting off an Animaniacs song has gone out the window. Past Tribal, I'm afraid to tell you this, but the Roman Kira doesn't have their own focus tree yet, as of yet. I re-elect. Which one are you gonna go, pal? Which one? The River Republic? Oh, sure, that's good. It's pretty much the pony version of EU. Oh, wait. Oh, the Casa Free State. That's pretty good. That's a pretty decent one. Power to the freedom. Bouldering to the bar autocracy, which is basically wizards who have too much power and want to experiment stuff. The free town of the Griffiths? I don't know. Never done them, actually. I don't think they even have a focus tree. Pick one. Osterland. Oh boy. It's coming back to me now. Oh no. We're picking the Viking Deers. Oh no. Prepare for me to freaking butcher the language a bit. Because I'm going to be reading a lot of stuff here. Like, a lot of stuff. You'll be amazed by how much they put into lore. Like, they made their own in-game events. Oh dear Lord, stagnating harmony. Oh boy. Yes, harmony has been stagnated. Very nice. Okay. Removing hands. But I like my hands. What am I gonna do? Walk on hooves? Alright. This is My Little Pony map. Which begs the question, how do they hold How do they hold their guns in their hooves? Okay, here we go. Since I no longer have access to a mouse, I used the mouse to trace where I was reading at. Here we go. In the far southern reaches of Griffonia lies a nation of outsiders to the continent, a place where the old traditions of the deer are still alive and well, where Vikings set out to terrorize the seas, and berserker lodges litter the land. The Jarldom of Osterland is a decentralized monarchy, whereas Jarl serves more as an advisor than a leader of its nobility. The origins of Osterland lie hoof and hoof with a system of government, and starts with a great wave of settlers from the homeland of the Deer. Olenia in 143 after lunar banishment, a large section of the Olenian nobility have grown tired of the increasingly centralized power of the monarchy, and the peace treaty enacted with Equestria that year proved to be the last straw. Many nobles were reliant on the fresh sources of thralls the raids on Equestria found had provided them, and thus decided it was time to look for greener pastures. The nobles started slowly moving west, led by the initial expedition of Hoif Dickerson. Really? Leif Erikson? Oh dear lord. Everybody, it's the Edas. It's the Edas. Oh boy. Colonizing many small islands along the way, all while growing fat off the loot gained from the raids on the sea lanes of Griffonia and Seprica. The influence of the deer over the affairs of the Riverlands slowly grew, and soon a small band of Viking mercenaries started traveling through the area. But Griffonia would only see the full fury of a Viking warband when the fractures in Lake City's empire started to grow. Growing instability in the Riverlands and surrounding regions led to Harald the Trotter, a violent but powerful young deer, to unite the various groups of Vikings in Griffonia. He sailed with his host up the Evi River and plundered the lands of the Cossacks. Harald soon found himself dragged into conflict against Lake City at the behest of Hysil II, the King of Wittenland. What resulted was a long and hard campaign against the armies of princedom, but also one which saw the deer richly rewarded. Harald and his deer were rewarded with lands at the southeastern edge of Griffonia. Founding the country now known as Osterland, Wittenland's authority over the deer soon diminished, and Osterland grew into an independent nation. As I wait for past me to finish reading and speaking out loud back in the past, basically, hold that thought. The society founded by Harald and his Vikings reflects the origins of his founders and reassembles the early government of Olenia. The social fabric of Osterland is made up of 4 classes. At the top lies the Jarl, and the other nobles of Osterland. The nobility maintains a high degree of autonomy, but does begrudgingly accept the need for some higher authority to resolve feuds and maintain the bare necessity of foreign policy. Below them are the free deer, who owe no oath of allegiance to any noble beyond the Jarl, and have the right to represent themselves at the Althing. Wait for it to pass me to scroll down. This is the one drawback of doing this post-edit. Do I bring up the mead now or later? Oh, there we go. The free deer comprise the majority of the merchants, priests, and Vikings within Osterland, and are one of the few forces of modernization within the country. Below the free deer lie the common deer, serfs who are constrained to the lands of the nobles they serve, making up the majority of the farmers and the craftsmen of Osterland. They often serve as levies used up in conflicts between nobles, and many turn to banditry to escape their conditions. But the common deer enjoy a wealth of rights compared to the lowest rung of Osterland's social ladder. The thralls are the property of their noble owners and live miserable lives under them. Most thralls are taken from their own country during Viking raids and endure grueling manual labor, maintaining the vast estates of the Australian nobility. Osterland has prided itself on maintaining the old ways of the deer, but as the Griffonian continent is thrown into chaos, those very same traditions threaten to take Osterland to the grave. But the coming of a new Jarl presents a unique opportunity for change within Osterland. Rumors swirl around Jarl Vigrit's personal history. Some claim she is a blue-blooded noble, others that she is a raging berserker. One thing is for certain, though. The coming years will shape the future of Osterland, for better or worse. Ay, ay, ay. Talk about a mouthful. As a way for past me to exit that little thing. This is one of the few things I like about this mod. They don't just drop you in the world and go, hey, here you go, do something. They give you a premiere of what, or a primer of what the country is all about. And they also give you the region, the mechanics, and the mechanics of the game. So that because this game is completely different to that of Hearts of Iron 4. I think, oh, there we go. See, the little mouse tricks again. But yeah, if I remember correctly, yeah, I didn't do the rest of those. So at that point in time, I was already winning for both the country songs and that reading. So, here we go. We have 5 divisions. All of them infantry. Wrong button there, pal. There we go. Let's give them a leader, shall we? I'm gonna say go with Thane Henriksen, please. That works. That works. All right. Here we go. I swear, I'm remembering this as I go. National standards, yes. Minus 60% research FYI. It's gonna take a year. Not even joking, a year just to get construction done. But for our focus tree, 5 days. For our Jarl. As we wait for our people to come to view in one factory, oh dear lord. I will also make a mental note of the mods I'm going to use. That I use besides the HOI4 War. You can already see some already. I have the color button mods installed. And I think there's a few others. But yes, as I now turn on the actual game, we're going to wait. And see what happens. And as we wait for our gray ponies, oh, they're supposed to be deer, but you can see there's a zebra and casa sprite just down there to the right. And oh boy, come on, guys, a little faster. You know, it might be a good idea if I split up time here. There we go. They're moving. They're moving. They're following. They're moving. They're going. They're going. They're going. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Boy.
last of our great opponents, Vikings, get on the line and train, keep us on. It's time for me to start reading again. Oh boy. On the matters of family, Ygritte counted herself as a fortunate doe, for not every deer could rise to the challenge and become the Jarl of Osterland. But she also knew that her path to the top was shrouded in mystery, and she didn't care much to share their story. However, if a royal legacy is to be cemented, it needs to be recorded properly. A scribe was needed to properly organize the contents of her life in a fashion that is simple for Ygritte to understand. Ygritte knew just the right doe for the job. Gustavika, it's been too long since we last met. How have you been holding up? Ygritte courtesy offered the aging deer her welcome. I've had better years, my Jarl. Why, I'm not getting any younger, no is. What is the purpose of your summons? The elder deer retorted, carefully taking a seat across Ygritte. Her hold was warm and comfortable, and it would be a shame to miss out on it. You are to use your talents as my official biographer, so that all across the realm may hear of my story. Frostfogger hid her puzzlement well, and said not to press for details. She was obligated to provide her Jarl with whatever she wished. I hope there will be enough parchment to ask. Oh, what a decent proposition is. There's the catch. As you wish, my Jarl. Shall we start then? Beginning, yeah? Ygritte reclined back in her seat. My memory can be spotty at times, but I clearly remember that. I was born to live on the walls. I was a daughter of a fierce metaphor. I was born to a family of merchants. I was born the heir to the houses of the Which one did the castle pick? Let's find out. As I wait for Casme, who's been reading the exact same thing, with the mouse, with the actual mouse, they catch up. This is the downside of doing this stuff posted in. Why OBS didn't work the first time? Cause now I got make up stuff on the fly. While holding my microphone like a mic. That's probably why. Probably when I do this check in the edit, I'll sound a bit louder. I'm gonna put the microphone down now. There we go. Whoa, easy. I have time. Literally, I have time. So, what do I pick? Come on past me. Hurry up. I can't. This is the problem when you don't have a mouse, because you can't really tell what you're gonna pick until it happens. Oh wow, this first episode is gonna be me talking my butt off and no actual action. I could easily edit this out, but where's the fun in that? Oh, what? Hi, yes, hi, hello, pass me. Yes, not there. Pick something. Pick something, my friend. You're clearly done reading. Oh, there we go. A peculiar child. Who could forget the terror that was Biglas? His war bands plundered many villages and killed dozens, and even became notorious among our neighbors. But I did not know you were his offspring, my Jarl. Gestvaga appeared intimidated. I could say that he thought the same way. My father was a gruff, no-nonsense stag who had little consideration for his family, always looking for new targets to pillage, only caring for us when he had to lay low to evade justice. My mother, bless her kind heart, tried to protect me from the worst, but in truth, Bleedgrass was the iron authority that could not be defied. It doesn't sound like a particularly positive fatherhood, my Jarl. It certainly was not. However, in time, my father gained a soft spot for his daughter, teaching me harsh life lessons. The intention was for me to inherit his criminal schemes, but ultimately Okay, pass me. Pick one. You can pick spend my time learning proper things, but become an image of my father, or was swept away by my mother in a grand escape. Pick one. Now, this is... As we wait for me to pick one, as we wait for me to pick one, I really hope it will be as worth next time. Cause I really do not want to do this in post. Cause this is a really sick time. Oh wait, looks like I'm practice breathing. What am I getting? Aha! Time marches on. I can't imagine what it was like. Were you happy like that, my darling? Christopher asked, aiming to get a larger picture. I didn't know any better. All I wanted was to receive my father's affection, don't we all? Which was permanently out of reach. I don't think he ever felt more than a cold approval as I tried to become closer to him. Eventually, my mother disappeared one day. I never found out how any why, and my father never spoke of her again of her. Guess I got placed on her quill. I am sorry, my Jarl. I appreciate that, but there was nothing that could have been done. Bigas met his end a few years later, attempting to rob a Griffin merchant convoy that was stranded on the coast. What he didn't see coming was merchants fighting back with rifles and submachine guns. I like to think that his last thoughts were how he mistreated me with his family. At the end, having inherited his ill-gotten gains and the loyalty of his deer, I continued in my father's footsteps, or reformed the marauding band into mercenaries. Da 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 da. I think I'm gonna pick the mercenary one. If I remember correctly, I correctly. Because it gives me one, and it gives me an extra troop division, and it's elite. The takeover. I can't say I am too surprised, my Jarl. You were always adaptable to changing your circumstances. Quite so, quite so. But even this venture became unsatisfying to me. I started thinking, wouldn't it be better to achieve something more grander? Thus, I set my sights on Osterland itself. If the previous Jarl couldn't stop a single band of thieves from becoming a credible threat to the state, then he was unfit to rule. That's like any other politician that's running office right now. I knew I would do a far greater job than he did. Don't screw up. But how did you take over? I heard various stories that mostly contradict each other. Well, you can't trust drunken beggars to give you the truth. Christopher, it was very simple, for I used my army to take over Osterland. What now? We're a child of a bandit. What shall we do, Jarl? Tour the land? There we go! Ladies and gentlemen, we're going on vacation. We're gonna go across the lands to take a look what the hell's going on. While we put our mercenary company to cover the Casa Free State's border while our other forces are currently training up to give us some land XP. Oh, boy. It's very nice when one does this. We're currently paused for what reason, I can't remember. Oh, right. You see, while I think this was when I had to deal with a phone call. That lasted like a few seconds. Again, when you're trying to edit this stuff out, it's very hard to tell. Okay, okay, here, tour the land, a trip around the countryside. Oh, this should be good.
So let's read more, shall we? So, a trip around the countryside, part 2. It could not be denied that most of the power in Osterland was centered around a distinct elite of nobles and wealthy merchants. But that did not mean that the support of the common deer was irrelevant. Far from it. Unlike many other feudal realms, the commoners within Osterland held far more power of their rulers than they did at a glance. A noble, for example, could not squeeze coin out of the earth with willpower alone. And if he lacked enough thralls to make his earldom economically viable, then he will need to attract free deer to his realm. And unlike thralls, free deer could simply pack up and move whenever they wanted to. The free deer within the earldom served under the jarl of that territory. But the jarl was also expected through social conventions and the laws of the realm to represent their interests at the all thing. Unlike thralls, although this did not place the common deer above their lords, it did grant them a distinct amount of power over them. A noble would quickly find his position eroding if the free deer he relied upon abandoned him. And thus, most would be willing to hear out at least some of their concerns. Ygritte knew this dynamic very well, and had every intention of exploiting it to strengthen her rule. If the free deer could be won over, the nobles who depended upon them would eventually follow. Ygritte had thus decided to take a trip around the more rural areas of Osterland, where the presence of the High Jarl have not been felt for decades. Her presence would hopefully bolster the popular opinion of her rule, and perhaps the nobility would be written out of the equation entirely if she made herself a hero to the commoners, or the common deer. It went decently. Alright? It went so-so. So basically, it's trying to pull a, well, I'm going. I can't pick anything past me. Oh, I think I was wrong. I was trying to figure out what the... hell I'm doing. Okay, what next? Can I do the world largest? Tax deer or the cropmen? Yes, we got a lot to go. Coal the old thing? Oh, the cropmen. Okay. The cropmen. Yeah, we got a long time ago and a short time to get there. Just look up and it run. Oh, I'm gonna get demonetized now. Woe is me. As we wait for 5 more days for the next session of reading. Because let's face it, that's my entire life now. Me reading passages. Thankfully, this won't be the entire series. Like, these events are only minor of reading. Alright, here we go. A meeting with the cropmen. Osterland might be more famous for its Viking raiders, than commerce, but that did not mean there was no trade to be found within the country. Indeed, thanks to its strong seafaring traditions, merchants from Osterland were able to conduct trade from the riverlands to the Griffith Sea. Over decades, these merchants have established themselves as a powerful social class of their own, the crupmen. While the nobility mostly prefer to embrace modern methods of production and farming, preferring to work the thralls to the bone, the crupmen were never ones to refuse an economic advantage. Acting as one of the sole modernizing forces of Osterland's economy, the crupmen were poised to bring out the Industrial Revolution to Osterland, as long as a healthy profit could be made. Man, these guys are like Ferengi. Ygritte had every intention of modernizing the economy. If things stayed as they were, even if they were somehow spared a military invasion, the sheer economic might of the rival countries would render Osterland powerless to repel their influences. But courting these merchants would not be as easy as it appeared, as the crupmen were very aware that they held the keys to the economy, and they certainly wouldn't give them over to some upstart noble with no clue about economics. She would have to prove that her plans for economic modernization would significantly benefit the crupmen or risk their anger. They were rather interested in getting your help setting up new trade routes. I think I read a little too fast. Past me, read a little too fast. Oh, fuck. Okay, here we go. 5 more days. I think... Oh, crap. It's the... Heartland Skaldaka related. Oh, dear Lord. I'm pretty sure Chris is going to kill me for butchering the Norwegian language. The Cult Stream Summit, everybody. Today, the Cult Coalition General Reporter released the agreement drafted by the leaders of the River Coalition after their summit in the city of Coldstream. As per the course, the summit formally renewed the defensive pact between all 8 nations and their promise to stand together against any Griffonian incursion. However, the agreement goes beyond the status quo and actively condemns the bloodshed currently occurring in the country of the Longsword, warning Count Palas to end his abuse of native ponies. The agreement also helps for a peaceful resolution of the Brofield Civil War, but the language included in the pact does not pave the way for immediate military intervention. Duly noted. Oh, I need water. I'm getting calm out just reading this. Ugh. Whew. You can tell I'm not. I can tell I'm not used to reading this stuff aloud. Right. Salute! This morning, the Viking ship Uklos Block came back in Hornavik's harbor from the successful raid. Captain Gridison paraded about the dock, showing off his loot, a whole shipment of luxury goods and 2 dozens of Kassan thralls of zebra and harpy origin. Asked about his targets, he did complain that he would have gotten a whole ship to boot if they hadn't started burning in the attack. The Kassans don't make sturdy ships. Still, every loot gained without a single lost Viking was a celebration. Let's hope they keep on this winning streak, eh? As we wait, I think this is also the last thing I'm going to be reading for this episode, because it's... So I'm trying to keep this thing at least 30 to 40 minutes long. Because if I can start making like an hour of videos, it'll be too much for me to read. Alright, the text here, okay? Give me the bad news. The report. taxation in Austerland. Outrageous! Like most other things, differed from the norm across California. Really? There are very few direct tax obligations. With most lords collecting income through private contracts with the free deer in exchange for their labor and support during the owl thing. And in turn, the lords provide a tithe to the Jarl in exchange for her approval of their rule. But taxation is not the only source for income for Aslan, really. Should a deer commit a crime against another, that crime is punished with a corresponding fine, the right to collect which is awarded to the victim. The victim may then sell the right to collect this fine to a stronger party if they are unable to collect on the debt. Why does it sound familiar? Many warriors make a living collecting on small debts in exchange for fees, but large ones are most often sold to the local lord. In recent years, a number of nobles had the bright idea to grant their tithe to the Jarl in the form of the debts due to be collected, allowing them to skirt by on direct payment. And it seems like the previous Jarls had all declined to delay collecting these debts. The result of this scheme has caused no small headache for Ygritte, as she now had to send out tax deer to figure out how and where and to collect on them. Worse still, many other debts were of questionable validity, and the common deer would no doubt react badly to armed warriors coming to collect on debts that may not have even been valid in the first place. There were other methods of collection, of course, such as allowing them to pay the debts piecemeal, or even through a blood tax. Oh dear lord. Alternatively, she could just forgive the debts, but that would be necessary, holding other nobles accountable for several years of unpaid tithes, and I ran out of time. Oh boy. Well, I think that's going to be it today, boys, ladies and gentlemen. So this is TM Tribal Typhoon, and I bid you all farewell.